Hello, everyone. This is Omar from the third rail. Thank God we're back this week. Took a 4 day resting day. Today I have my friend and my guest again. Cosmo Fox is here. Hello, Cosmo. How you doing, Cosmo? Fox. How are you, Melody?
Hey there, it's Ninetales Cosmic Fox. How's it going?
I'm doing great. Same old thing. Things come up. Things sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're not. You know how life is. Every day is a different. It's a different wave of Linta sense.
For
You.
sure.
Okay, I don't know how's the camera? It's not dark, right? My camera?
You look fine to me.
Okay, great. So how are you? How you feeling? I mean, what's going on with you so far? How was your week? How was your days? I haven't seen you in a while.
I've also been on a bit of a hiatus myself. I normally, when I'm not streaming or online, I at least do some sort of like self improvement thing where I'm learning some new skill or something like that. And I haven't done any of that this week. It has been purely just like self indulgence and
Yeah.
stuff. And I think it's like for me personally, it started to feel like spring was happening. Then we just got like a whole week of cold. And I was like, no, I'm going back to hibernating. And I hibernated hard. Like I think I slept 12 hours at least two of the days over these days over the past 2 weeks, despite not losing any sleep. So I don't know what I'm catching up on, but I'm caught up. I feel a lot more energetic and stuff now.
Well, me about 3 years ago, I moved out of Brooklyn, and I'm in the suburbs. Bought a house, me and my wife, in the suburbs of New York City. Gave the car to my son, and now I don't leave the house. I'm retired. Like what's that? Introverted, as we call it. I haven't left the house. I was looking at my phone since February 20th. I don't like to go out. I just don't feel that mood. I used to go out when I was in business. I used to go out every day and things like that. Now, once you learn a new habit that you don't, I don't know. I don't even want to go. I don't even want to go in front of the house. I don't know what that means, but everything else is okay. Thank God.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of to unpack. What's going on. I don't know if you've been following. If you want to start with Candace Owens, you know who Candace Owens is.
Oh yes. Is this her breakup from Daily Wire?
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what it is. She's an
Yeah.
evil. She's an evil individual. I'm gonna tell you that, and I have a lot of videos of me hating on her. But in this scenario, I don't think she was wrong at all. You know what I'm saying? Um, of all the things to fire her for, anti-Semitism is not really. She's not anti-Semite. You already have someone like Michael Knowles who said that all trans should be eradicated. This is Hitler talk. Nothing happened to him. He still has his show. The other guy, what's his name? Matt Walsh. You know him, right?
Yep.
He's another transo who hates everybody. Never lost his show. She says one word that well, Palestinian kids should not be killed by Israel, and why we give them our money. All of a sudden, the whole world is against her. I was with her on that thing, but I always know she was the mouthpiece for the haters. She will say
Yeah.
things about black people that the Daily Wire wants to say, or like white nationalists wants to say. That they get her to say it. You understand what I'm saying? Like a
I don't
filter.
think it's controversial or even debatable that she was the Daily Wire's token black woman. So that
Thank
way
you.
they could say, like, we're not racist, we're not sexist. Look at our black female content creator that we use.
Yeah. As long as she attacks black people and disparages all their people, we're good with that.
And
That's
to
what
be
she.
clear, like she has agency, right? She is in her own way complicit about this and has decided to be for the money or because she does share these views, whatever it is. The key point being like, I'm not removing her agency from this scenario, but I am saying like that's all she probably was to the Daily Wire at the end of the day.
It is because if you look at her history, she started in 2015 as what do you call it? As a liberal. She hated Trump. She was talking about her whole focus was on bullying online that she had a shtick. She was trying to get grounded on something. Then she finally landed on I guess you call it anti-black. When she started talking down to black families, oh yeah,
Yeah, she would say BLM changed her, of course, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just plain
bullshit.
BLM.
Yeah, it's not it. It's not it. Because
I
I could do the same thing. If I start right now disrespecting my community and saying Trump is the man, Muslims are crazy, you know, they're terrorists, they should not give us. I would be right there. I would get a job right away with these people. You understand?
probably, yeah.
But
They
go
they
ahead.
need they need that diversity as much as they hate things like diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah,
It's like they don't really know what they want at the end of the day, but they know exactly what their audience wants, which is their hateful bigotry to be validated in a way that's kind of euphemistic, right? They're not really saying the quiet part out loud. Another thing about Candace Owens that I should point out is like, sure, she may have started as a liberal, but I consider like if you've done a major shift, right? Like not just like I've gone from neoliberal to far leftist
yeah,
through my years as I educated myself more with anarchist literature and stuff. And I just think it has more to do with like as you get older,
yeah,
it's harder to, and as you become more politically experienced, it's harder to deny what you really are. So
yeah,
Candace Owens probably thought she was a liberal, and that
yeah,
was proportional to her political naivety at the time.
yeah. But money too. She's a multimillionaire now. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
mean, she founded
Daily
something.
Wire
Yeah.
is, for anyone involved, Daily Wire is a profitable grift.
It is all of them. They're all grifters. Even what's his name?
Peterson.
No, all of them. Ben Shapiro is a grifter. I mean, here he is, this religious Jew who actually preaches to a niche of right wing, almost adjacent to alt right ideas, but not going over the line because they're not going to accept him because he's Jewish. But he has the same idea as the other alt right or the other extreme right people on the internet, and you know he talks a good game, but I think it's all for the money. Him, all of them, even Peterson, the guy. The problem with you guys in Canada, you send us all the races. What's going on? What are you guys doing to us? You understand?
Oh, we're just no better up here. It's
I
just,
mean,
I don't know,
you,
maybe like we sell more when we go down to the States because we're like exotic or something. But other than that,
yeah,
like there's no reason to think that Canada is any less racist or sexist or any of those things than the US is. We're just like policy wise and economics wise, we're not as screwed over as the US is. And when like say like the federal government does something to change stuff, we're better, but that's about it. Like health, so that's why healthcare actually got through instead of filibustered and stuff like that, because our House of
Commons.
yes, House of Commons, thank you, kind of uh, does away with provincial rights to an extent.
Yeah,
Provinces still have their rights, but there's a lot more that the federal government can do.
right.
And when it comes to like our emerging ecological crisis, I think that will be a good thing for us.
Are the laws different in Canada? I think they are different. I mean,
They can be. They can also be much the same.
they're not as liberal here. I mean, you could, I know a comedian got sued and lost money. I mean, you can't say everything you want in Canada.
Yeah.
It's like a Britain,
Yeah,
right?
we have way more overlap with Britain.
Yeah.
So like any way that Britain and American law is the same, we're the same. Like there's no way that we're ever going to be different. I think maybe our voting system might be a bit different though.
Let
But
me
in
show
terms,
you. Go
but
ahead.
like we're actually a bit more like America than Britain at the end of the day.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You're like our little brother on the north. I mean,
I guess.
sometimes we look at you just another state. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, seriously. I mean, we don't Canada. We don't see it as a country. I mean, we see it like just one of our other states, like the 51st. Because Canada doesn't have a full agency. It's like what I mean. It has full agency, but it's overshadowed by the United States power and
Oh yeah, we
hegemony
can't
and
step on
prestige.
America's
You
toes at
can't. Yeah,
all.
yeah, you can. Everything. Even sometimes your foreign policy has to mimic the United States. Or you. I mean, I don't want to say it like that. Sometimes maybe you guys get permission from the United States to take certain position.
Yeah, exactly.
On the other because
It's like when you have two brothers that are like athletes, and you
yeah,
can tell that the older brother was always beating up on the little brother and kind of like
yeah.
stunted their athleticism. So that way the big brother always looked bigger and better.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you something. I know we talk about. We're gonna get back to what's her name,
Oh,
Candace. Yeah, no, but I
yeah.
want to ask you, how come you have a housing crisis in such a small country? You don't have a lot of people.
Well, it's because our housing solutions were very neoliberal, in
Yeah.
part because housing is a provincial issue that's handled provincially. There are federal mandates, but they're not
Oh,
as strong.
yeah.
And so, like here in Ontario, especially, the Ford government with their right-wing policies and, you know, scaling that back even has just absolutely decimated how much housing can do to help the underlying core issue of the housing crisis, which is poverty. Because
Yeah.
poverty, it's not just like, it's not just a financial state, it's a state of mind as well. And there's a lot of help that people here need that just it's you can get it, but only if you're not disabled, only if only if your issues are recognized by the system. So there are just like there's all these things that kind of make it normative
Yeah.
and just too sterilized to really help. It's too dehumanizing to really help people here.
Well, so the government provides housing, or
They do, but
oh,
you know, the loop, not the loopholes, the barriers that you have to go through to get it are, you know, ridiculous. Again, because neoliberals all the way down to right wingers are just terrified that poor people are going to take advantage of the system, right?
yeah,
And then once you're in there, you're always on the knife's edge. It's a very stressful environment and stuff like that. It's very hard to reacclimate to normal society, especially when you're coming out of something like real homelessness.
yeah. I want to ask you something. If I wanted to settle in Canada, would it be easy for me as an American citizen, as a family?
I don't know personally.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know anyone who's had to go through that
If
process.
Trump
So
gets elected, I'm out of here. Me and the kids. I mean, I'm gonna stay 4 years in Canada until things, turn around. Then I'm gonna be see how safe it is.
well,
Huh. I was trying to look
I,
into the internet. It's very hard.
I know that this doesn't quite fit your plans, but
Yeah,
if worst case scenario, you know,
yeah,
your state were to, for whatever reason, make you feel like you can't live there anymore, I think Canada would
yeah.
probably accept you as a refugee. We have been accepting cases, I believe, of trans people who are fled from the states from places like
Oh,
Florida.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, we don't have no issue. I live in New York. New York is very liberal and things of that nature. I mean,
Well, the
can't get
issue
in.
with liberals is that they don't do enough.
They don't. Yeah,
They
they just.
turn a blind eye to the
Yeah,
systemic
yeah,
and the unspoken ways that like people like you, not people like you, but non-white people, all and everyone all the way down to disabled people are targeted by the system because they're too incompetent to recognize those things. All they recognize are like either what's right in front of them or
slogans.
this is the way the system is, and so there's nothing we can do about it. Those are the
Yeah.
only things they recognize.
All right. Let me show you a video of Candace Owens her last day. Yeah. Okay, let's watch it together.
Sure.
She apologized to the Muslims, by the way. We accepted her apology.
Political commentator in America. Every single one of them knows this, that if you do not step out and say things that are radically pro-Israel, or if you are too quiet on certain narratives and they want you to be radically pro-Israel, you can lose everything. That's truth. That is a fact. I'm not feeling like I need to hide from that anymore or be afraid to say it, rather, is a better way to say it, because I've endured this for years. I'm just at the end of my rope. I have given so much rope here, and I am just done with it. In a few weeks, I will be out to Israel, and I will be out to Gaza, and I will be able to report to you guys what it is that I actually see. But I also want to say this because it's so important. I am Team God. Okay? I'm Team God. I do not fear the media. I do not fear journalists. I do not fear AIPAC. I don't fear Big Pharma. What I actually fear is God. I think that one day we are all going to have to account for the things that we have done and the
She
things
fears
that we have
her
said. And I want to
loving
make
and
sure
compassionate
that I am not a
God.
person that is parroting lies.
Hold on.
The fear.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. She's a bit narcissistic here. God, I think it's all bullshit. She doesn't believe in anybody.
But like, is her God loving and compassionate and the
Yeah.
creator of all good and stuff like that and the hater of all evil?
Yeah.
Or is he someone to be afraid of, Candace? I can never figure it out.
Yeah. Let me just finish this and then we go back.
Of losing your job, encouraging some people to spit out lies, I don't think that works in the end, right? I think you've got to check your priorities. And so with that said, I want to thank everybody who has been on this journey with me, people that have supported me. I especially want to thank all of the Jewish people that have been in the comments saying how outraged they are. And I know that it is especially difficult for you guys right now because you are being smeared, you know? I mean, I'm not going to go away. I'm going to use my God-given voice to talk about the things that are important for me. And I'm just asking to be left alone, or at least just report the truth.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. But don't worry, because we will see you tomorrow for a brand new episode.
Oh no, you're not coming back. You've been fired. So the whole idea, her whole shtick over there, she's been saying that there's a powerful gang in Hollywood that you must be. I agree with her on one thing that uh, if you are anti-Israel, it's not a good thing for your career in Hollywood, whatever it is. But
It's more applicable to politics, really.
yeah, honestly, it's a gang, walking around Hollywood with baseball bat, Jewish gang walking around. You gotta say this, if not, you never.
Was there?
Well, I mean, I don't know how I want to say this.
I don't want to like play into those kind of
Nobody,
things because
but there
that
is
does risk being anti-Semitic and
yeah. Well, I mean, they have made the word anti-Semitic so radioactive. You don't know what anti-Semitism is anymore.
right.
So
Which
yeah, I'm gonna give you.
but we
Yeah, I'm
do,
gonna
right?
show.
But Omar,
Yeah, we do. I mean,
so we
do
know
it.
that line about the Jewish community and spreading fear
Right.
about
That's
them.
okay. I agree with you.
So I just want to avoid talk like maybe perpetuating something that might be a rumor, right?
No, it's very
So
simple.
let's apply this to politics in
You cannot
IAPAC.
you cannot hate you cannot hate the group for what they are. That's no
Yeah,
good.
let's just stay in this. Let's just stay in the realm that we know exists in IAPAC and
Yeah, okay,
politics,
that's
right?
what it is. You
Yeah.
have a certain power structure here in the United States, something like APAC. APAC is very powerful. It's going to spend $100 million just to get rid of four leftist politicians that they don't like. It shows you the power they are wielding inside the United States. No other. It represents Israel, by the way. So no
Yeah.
other group has that power, a sword that is wielded against our politician to do what they do and avoid saying things that don't agree with them. Because there's two actors. You have the ADL, which goes after individuals. You know what the ADL is, right?
Yes.
It's supposed to be the Anti-Defamation League, but it's not. It's more of an economic terrorist.
Yeah, it's
Let's
taking up space from other important anti-hate groups.
Yeah, and it's not even really protecting Jews. What it does is, let's say I'm a movie actor or I'm a rapper. I say something stupid, sometimes then they'll come to you. Listen, come, you got to donate $3-4 million. Go to the museum or whatever, or sit with a rabbi, and we'll make it go away. It's like the mafia. You want to make it, and it's all about money at the end of the day. There's nothing there that you are showing us, like what they did to Kevin, what's his name? Irving Carey, the basketball player. What he did is he just retweeted
Kyle Irving?
Irving.
Was it Kyle Irving?
Kyle Irving, yeah, of the Nets. He was working for. When he retweeted that the Black Hebrew craziness that they are the original Jews, they went after him. They made him donate $500,000. He lost 10 games with no pay. And the people who were selling the documentary is Amazon. They never got any issues, no problems. They're still selling it, but because he retweeted it, they came after him. So what I'm trying to say, that two organizations that are too powerful,
yeah,
and are very scary.
And I want to read this quote from Bernie Sanders. He tweeted this out on November the 5th, 2023. So this is very recent. IAPAC has excuse me one second. IAPAC has supported dozens of GOP extremists who are undermining our democracy. They're now working hard to defeat progressive members of Congress. We won't let that happen. Let us stand together in the fight for a world of peace, economic and social justice, and climate sanity. So it's funny because IAPAC keeps trying to court Bernie Sanders and be like, oh, that's actually, thank you for not demanding a ceasefire and blah, blah, blah. But then he puts them on blast every time because he's not having their shit. And Bernie Sanders hasn't always been the strongest against Israel, and I will criticize him for that.
Yeah, but on that issue, but before he was,
and
the war, he failed.
And I think for him, it's like spending his last years actually trying to make the Democrats actually do something. So he's not trying to alienate them by having completely opposite rhetoric in that way, which. I'm not a fan of the Democrats for doing that, but he's playing that game. And I think this is a case of don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah. So the whole issue, you've been watching what's going on in Gaza. I hope you've been following. A lot of Americans are not following it. So what you have here is a genocide, and everybody knows it's a genocide. They are actually I had a video I couldn't show it no more because I got a warning from YouTube. I threw it where they were actually, you saw those four gentlemen. They were just walking in a street and they were just shooting them from the air for no reason. And when you have 35,000, 37,000, 32,000 dead and about 7,000 are under the rubbles, and you have 20, according to the United States, according to the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, Austin, that there are 25,000 women and children that have been deliberately killed because you're not chasing Hamas by killing 25,000 people. Then you're doing something wrong after a while. And nobody wants to call that out. I mean, a lot of people, even within the liberal
Yeah.
Side of us,
Yeah,
a
they
lot.
still want to debate what genocide is.
Yeah, and you got a lot of Zionist liberals say, "Oh, we stick with you with everything, but you can't. But you betrayed us." It's not a betrayal. I mean, we should stick on everything. Okay, if you were thinking like us, we should call out everybody. It doesn't matter who. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who. You don't tell me like Brianna Wu, the biggest piece of shit on. I hope she's listening. The biggest Zionist shell on Twitter. She's getting paid. Her Destiny, Wiki just getting a little change. He's not getting a lot of money. He's like getting the crumbs. But I know Brianna Wu, and especially Destiny, because Destiny he's gone wild on this. I mean, he's going every day. He's talking about it. He went to debate.
Jordan
Oh,
Peterson.
no, no, Finkelstein. He saw the debate when they
Oh,
embarrassed
right.
him.
Yeah. It kind of,
I
what's
mean,
funny?
how
I
could you
think
be a
when they both
liberal?
start shouting, it's embarrassing for both of them. But I'm not defending Finkelstein in the slightest.
Yeah, but I mean, you know who Finkelstein is? What's his name?
Yes, of course I do. Norman Finkelstein.
No, he embarrassed. he was calling him idiot and imbecile. It's terrifying. He speaks like the old time Brooklyn people, and I lived in Brooklyn. You know how some Jews they speak like that, like Italians they talk with their hands, and the Jews talk. Oh, don't be an imbecile, huh? But the whole idea is that why is Destiny so full throttle on this idea that the Palestinians do not have the right to exist, that the state belongs to the Jews, blah, 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 blah. I mean, he's not even being fair. He's not even talking about a two-state solution.
If I were to guess, it would honestly be that he just wants that APAC money because he seems like a utilitarian. Can we go back to Candace Owens saying like I'm
Yeah.
afraid of God and stuff like that? And
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
fact
yeah,
that
yeah.
like
Yeah, she's a piece of yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
like it's great that she's not supporting a genocide,
Yeah.
but that's why I kind of brought up like liberals tend to like debate whether or not it's even a genocide because at the end of the day, I don't think they would support a genocide, but they'll certainly excuse it if they can.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, Candace, it's so great that you're not supporting a genocide, but when do you stop supporting the religious foundations upon which these genocides happen?
Yeah.
Because right now, what the reason that America is mostly supporting Israel as part of like also invigorating their Christo-fascist fan base
Yeah.
is because they see it as, oh, if Israel gets the temple on the mount and all the holy sites there,
Yeah.
then the Muslims can't get them, and
Yeah.
therefore we win by proxy because we're bigger allies than they
Yeah.
are.
Jesus
Or
comes. Don't forget the
and
finale.
Jesus comes, yeah.
Yeah, and he kills all the Jews because they're not going to accept him. You understand? Those who don't. This is so fucking. It's like a marriage of convenience where you have the Zionist Christian. There's about 50 million of them in the United States. And there's a $21 million organization that gives hundreds of millions of dollars to Israel. The whole scenario is that we have to fill the land of Israel with all the Jews, so we could induce it's called the rapture. You see, I'm not a Christian. The rapture, and Jesus comes, and then the Jews have two choices: to accept the Jesus as the Lord and Savior. If not, they're going to, they're going to face His wrath and go to hell, whatever it is. It's all a fucking weird game that's going on. But like you said, I think Candace Owens was she chose this as a convenience. She has some tendencies. She has some issues with Ben Shapiro. She was using this probably. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was using
Well,
it.
Ben Shapiro, that was actually kind of documented that behind the scenes they were arguing a lot.
Yeah.
There were some sources talking about it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We don't know how far that went, obviously, but I
Yeah.
can imagine, if not Candace, then definitely Ben Shapiro saying some very, like, I don't know how colorful his wording would be, because they're both very kind of prudish people, but very colorful things that would have made a black woman concerned.
Do you think Candace Owens wanted to get fired? Because if she gets fired, she gets money if she leaves the company, right? So she doesn't lose her salary.
Severance, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if she got a severance. That's
Because they were
really up to
telling
the.
her, remember, a month ago, they say, "Oh, if you don't like it, just quit." She didn't quit. You know, they were telling her to quit.
That depends if, like, when she took the job,
Yeah.
if there was severance in her contract or not. So we don't know if she would get severance or not. But most people in her position do. So I don't know. Maybe it's safe to assume that.
Yeah, but she's gonna find a following. She has a big fan base. She's gonna make money anyway, there or there. I mean, probably the Daily Wire lost more than Candace Owen in this situation. Like you said, she's the mouthpiece of the
For
right
sure.
wing. Yeah, the right wing bullshit. That she's the one who gets on the microphone and says that Ahmed Arbery, remember that kid who was looking at the construction place? He was stealing stuff and he was a thief and he deserved to get killed by those 3 white men. I think it was Alabama or Georgia. Georgia, yeah. And when you look at the video, the guy's wearing shorts. It's a house that has they're building. It has nothing to steal, and she just does it for the sake of shocking her own community. Oh, George Floyd, he deserved to die. He was a piece of shit. He's a drug addict. It doesn't matter. You could have been a drug addict. You could even have been a pimp. I don't care. But you don't deserve to die at the hand of police, no matter what. Because if we say it's okay, then tomorrow it's going to be my neck under somebody's knee. You understand?
Yeah, I think that's what happens when you start your grift as someone who was vocal against BLM, because I think what Candace Owens is ultimately afraid of is extremism. Not that she's afraid of her own extremism. She doesn't recognize her own extremism, but she's definitely afraid of anything that, like, would make her look bad if she had anything to do with it, right? So she probably denounced BLM at first as a way to save optics, and then a bunch of right wingers took notice of her, and then it's like, just go from there, right? Like, just keep grinding at that machine, keep saying more and more stuff until you make more and more money. That I've seen so many neoliberal streamers do that with stuff like certain debates and stuff like that, to the point where it just becomes vacuous. You're not even having a debate anymore. You're just trying to be like, no, you're more evil. No, you're more evil.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is. Anyway, I want to show you. Here's a video. I want to show you. Remember when we spoke about anti-Semitism? I don't have the video. When she asked him to define, he couldn't define it. The rabbi. She had a rabbi on. Hold on. Hold on.
Going to the misogynistic. Oh, excuse me.
Wait a minute.
The anti-Semitic trope of his hag daughter.
Can I get some context though before we start this?
Okay. Well, Candace is having a problem with a rabbi called Rabbi Shumli, or Shmuli. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's a crazy rabbi. I have a video of him here. Let me show you the video if I had it.
So I take it when you say crazy, you mean he's pro-Israel.
Well, not only pro-Israel. Let me show you what he does. I mean, he's like a shock jock. He's not like a rabbi, like the rabbi like this guy. This guy's, you could tell he's a rabbi, but he's pro-Israel. And let me show you. This is the rabbi.
Kind of like how Dr. Phil is a quote doctor.
Yeah, this is the rabbi. He's giving a lap dance to a kid. Look. This is a rabbi, right?
Yeah. Why is Candace sorry? I've seen enough personally.
Yeah. Okay.
Why is Candace Owens talking to someone who gave a lap dance to a child?
No, this happened recent. What I'm saying, they've been having problems for 3 years. Like he has his daughter has a sex shop in Jerusalem.
Oh, I've heard of this guy actually. Yeah.
Yeah. He was on the Piers Market, and they sell like sex toys and things of that nature. And Candace, one of the purity class. Maybe she said something one time, and then he took it upon himself to be our arch enemy. I mean, really. And he was getting on her, and she was thin-skinned. She let him get into her head. Once he got into her head, she lost her job. So the whole idea is that then they send another rabbi to talk to her. You know, remember I told you they sit you down and set you straight. You know, maybe teach you what anti-Semitism is. So she had this rabbi who's defending this guy, but look what he said. Okay,
Go into the misogynistic. No, excuse me.
Okay, wait.
The anti-Semitic.
She called his daughter a hag. You know, you call somebody a hag and a witch, right?
Yeah.
This is an American thing. Get out of you, old hag. I mean, don't be.
It's British as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing. But look how he's going to turn it into anti-Semitic. That's why you cannot. There's too much translation.
Well, here's the thing: is
Yeah.
he's not wrong, right?
Yeah.
So the idea that Jewish women were witches and hags was actually part of Nazi propaganda.
Yeah, but okay. Can we watch it a little bit?
Sure.
Okay.
How dare you go into the misogynistic? No, excuse me. The anti-Semitic trope of his hag daughter, something used throughout the late 18th and early through the early 20th century.
Sorry. Hag is now anti-Semitic?
So that is a term of his hag daughter that goes back into the witches of Eastern Europe. Why did you have to call her a hag daughter?
Just
Tell
to
me
be
that.
clear, because she's a witch. I think she's a witch. That's not because she's
All right,
Jewish.
let's
I
stop right
would
there.
call someone a
Wait,
hag of
wait,
any
yeah.
color. I think she's a witch. What
Wait,
they have
wait,
done over the
okay.
last 2 years, I believe his daughter is a hag. I said that because that's what I believe. You may disagree
Okay,
with me
hold
on that.
So you see now that she's attacking she attacked his daughter before.
I just
Now,
think it's funny that she believes in witches.
Yeah, I don't think she meant that. I think she meant that as an evil, like a person who's bad. I don't, in her defense.
I don't. I think she
Yeah.
actually believes in magic and witches.
Well, she gotta be
The
crazy.
same way that she's afraid of God.
But to say
I
that that's
respect that.
anti-Semitic is ridiculous. I would call any person a hag.
Candace, I'm going to be very clear without trying to be insulting. So please forgive me if it comes off wrong. Okay, it's not meant to.
No, it's fine. You can insult me.
I don't want to.
I've dealt with 2 years of a rabbi insulting me, so I'm totally cool with
Candace,
this.
Victim.
Yeah.
She's a victim.
I have no desire to insult anybody. Okay? But do you understand, are you familiar with the history of the Grimm fairy tales and the folk tales of Eastern Europe?
I know that we can go back and we can also say
No.
that-
I'm asking a specific question.
Okay.
Yeah, but we had witches in Salem over here in the United States. They were Christian. They were not Jews. I mean, it was not the.
Well, okay, so here's an interesting thing, right?
Yeah.
Like they weren't not.
Huh?
You can't say that they weren't Jews. They were also Jews. They were like anyone who kind of seemed to break orthodoxy was especially feared on, right? So, and there's a lot of mental illness that had to do with this too, and thinking people are possessed. So,
Yeah, and if they saw an old lady who's lonely, she has no husband, no kids, and she lived alone, all of a sudden they could just say anything about her and put her right on the thing and kill her.
what he's right about, he's moral grandstanding where he's like, I don't want to insult anybody. So that's a little silly. But what he's right about is particularly there is some trauma still that Jewish people experience from being called that because it was used against them during World War II Germany. And that's why he said up to early oh wait, he might have said 19th century, which is actually the middle.
Yeah, he's talking about the 1100s.
No, well, I think he meant, I think he meant.
I mean, does it carry on? I mean,
I think he meant up to the early 1900s. Because
I mean, I use the word hag a lot. I used to use that when I used to be like around people. Get out of here, hag. Get this old hag out of here. But I never used the word witch because this doesn't make no sense. Now I don't believe in witch. I don't believe in witch. I don't think they exist. But I mean, it's just that I would never mean it. I would never know it's a trope if I say it to somebody. It will be an equal opportunity insult. I would say, you know what I'm saying here?
Well, then it is until somebody explains to you that it isn't, like this rabbi's kind of doing.
All right. Okay. So can I show you one more video of something else, and then we can just talk about everybody? Is all right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. This video is an American Muslim he's a jurist, he's a lawyer and a judge, and he was nominated by Biden to be on the highest circuit courts. So he has to be confirmed by the Senate. Look at the question they ask him. No.
You sat on the board of for years, whose director.
Hold on. Okay. These are all right wing trash.
Yeah, Josh Hawley is
Yeah,
always
yeah, they're all trash. They're all fake and phony. Yeah,
he's such a
outrageous.
peacock with how performative he is.
Yeah, they all like that. All three of them. You're gonna see the three musketeers.
So what is he about to bring up here? He said something about board of
Well, the
directors.
judge is up for confirmation.
So
And
is
he
the
should.
judge on a board of directors?
No. They're just saying that he was part of organizations. They're trying to connect him to Israel. They're asking him about the policy of Israel. Now he's a judge. He has nothing to do with Israel. Or he doesn't have to tell them what his position is on. That's like if a Jew come on there. What do you think that? Do you think the occupation of the Palestinians is wrong? You understand what I'm saying? So you should not be asking them these questions. And he's Pakistani. He's not an Arab. He has nothing to do with the Middle East. He's from Pakistan. But it's just the way they attacked him, and he get confirmed. And the majority are Democrats because one of the Democrats was afraid to confirm him.
Was calling Jewish people colonialist, violent settlers.
Hold on.
Do you believe that Zionist settler colonialism was a provocation that justified Hamas's atrocity against Jews in Israel?
The third speaker you invited, Mr. Hatim Bazilian, was the co-founder of Students for Justice in Palestine and has publicly called for an intifada in the United States.
Oh, it's fucking phony.
Is this the way you celebrate 9/11?
Didn't you have a moral obligation to know about a
Who's
center that you sat on the
celebrating
board
9/11?
of for years?
These motherfuckers just pulling shit out of their asses. They're dumb as fuck. They inbred. You know what inbred is?
No, but we don't. Nobody. Sorry, if I could just like harp on this a bit more. Who's celebrating 9/11? 9/11 isn't, there's no 9/11 festivities, right? There's a ceremony. There's mourning. It's a sad thing. This guy is literally trying to say, "Oh, you're the insensitive one here," and he just said, "Celebrate 9/11."
He's been a judge for almost 23 years, like lower courts. So they're trying to put him up because he's probably a liberal judge. Because the Biden administration is nominated. These guys could say all they want, but they still could confirm him. And they never. But what's upsetting me is why was he asked these questions? Why was he put through these things? Why does he have to define what Israel is? Israel is a colonial project, but that's not their business, and it's not his business. He wants to be a judge. He's not going to be on the foreign office of the United States.
Whose director was calling Jewish people colonialist,
because the more they scream, the more AIPAC gives them money.
violent settlers.
But you won't condemn this.
I will let him complete his answer. Would you? Your time
He's filibustering and not answering questions. And so I'm going to ask him to answer the question I ask instead of giving a speech on a different topic. He knows how to answer a question. When I ask a question, he gives a speech on a different topic because he doesn't want to answer it. My question is simple. Do you condemn this event that was celebrating Palestinian Islamic Jihad?
You see what they're doing is that that's Islamophobia 101. Is that it?
Sorry, what is?
Phobia. There's so many phobias.
Oh yeah, Islamophobia for sure.
I think this is Islamophobia. I think they're full of shit. The questions they need to be asked. The man has nothing to do, and he's not celebrating 9/11. Nobody's celebrating 9/11. Nobody. He's a judge. Do you think 9/11 comes out? You guys are having barbecues. You're the guys who are celebrating 9/11. You understand? So the whole idea is that why was he put through the ringer and he has to defend the Hamas, who he has nothing to do with, or the Israel's policy, who he has nothing to do with? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, he might have some sort of influence at the end of the day, but it won't be nearly as much as something like the House of Congress does and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember from the Kavanaugh trials how it works. If it's supposed to be like everything's on the table and they can ask whatever they want, or if it's they're only supposed to ask things that are pertinent. But either way, I think that this shows that like they don't have anything that would actually disqualify him as being a judge that isn't just like a one-sided political position that they disagree with, right? Because like I could easily say, well, doesn't Israel do an intifada every time they feel like that they've been slighted by Hamas a bit? And it's not, I know it's not the same thing because intifada is
Yeah, but I agree
culturally
with you.
different. But they essentially, like, if anyone is a threat here of killing people, if that's what you're, and
It's
that's
us.
not, yeah, it's America and it's Israel.
Yeah. The whole idea is that what's upsetting is he was going to be the first Muslim. So a lot of there's about 7 Muslims in the United States, 7 million. The whole idea is that these questions, you could ask every question that has to do with your jurisprudence, whatever, I don't know how to say these words, that has to do with your past rulings, how you ruled on certain cases, were they too much? Did you let go some criminals? Did you your ethics were not so good? But that's like me. You're nominated, and I'm saying, Melanie, do you agree that a trans woman in Indonesia had to defend herself and kill 5 people? What do you think? Did she have to kill those 5 people? What does that have to do with you?
Well, it's even worse than that. It would be like, it would be like if trans people were fighting back against being killed, and there was something called Transifa.
The same thing like the Palestinians. You guys are getting killed. You know how many trans get killed every year in the United States, especially black ones.
Well, okay, let's do this, right?
Yeah.
Do you support anti-fascist, Omar? Do you support Antifa?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's against these crazy people, right?
Well, then I don't think that you should be a judge, because Antifa can sometimes do things I don't agree with.
Yeah, but I mean, if I had that on my resume, it's okay. You could say that, but he didn't support any of that. He has nothing to do with the situation they're asking him about. First of all, he's not from the region. He's not an Arab.
The point that I was making is that even if it was on his resume, right? When you compare what that is next to like what someone like Ted Cruz supports, he's not an issue at all. He's a kitten. Ted Cruz, I'm just going to put it out there, is a fucking white supremacist. He wants to see the white race rule over the world. Christo-fascism, okay?
Yeah, guess what? I have something. He's not white.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know, but that's the problem. He thinks he's white. He's not. I mean, he's not. He thinks, when they take over, they're going to accept him. They're going to throw him right on the street.
It doesn't matter. Like, it's the same reason.
And you know what? He was born in Canada, so maybe the war in Canada has to do something with it.
It's the same way Candwace Owens can support white Christo-fascism.
Yeah, I
can't complicit for it. She's a mouthpiece for it. She goes into lockstep whenever she's told to for it.
I'm gonna, the way I see life is, I just rule on what I see. If it's something that is, it's not right, if it's not right, it's not right. I don't care who does it. Yeah, if my brother is doing something wrong, I'm gonna say, in Islam, the Prophet said, help your brother whether he's wrong or is he wronged. Somebody's wronging him. He said, they said we could help him if he was wronged. I mean, somebody's attacking him, but how can we help him if he's wronging other people? He said by stopping him. Yeah, you understand? By preventing him from being wrong. I don't know. In English is different. So what I'm saying is
stop the perpetuation of violence.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not a brain science. And Cruz is he's a attention getter. One time he'd go in his yard and talk in the middle of the night. I'm at the border. He's behind his house. His daughter almost tried to kill herself. You know that, right?
No, I didn't. I don't want to talk about that.
No, I know, but I'm saying because I think something was wrong with him. Because when he was running for president, every time he tried to kiss her, she would slap him.
Okay, I'm not comfortable talking about it.
Okay,
I'm not going to stop you from doing it, but
no. Okay, these is okay. Gaza.
Have we finished talking about this? Because I'm ready for some juicy drama myself.
Okay, hold on. Let me just. Okay, let's go to your drama. All right, let's go.
I don't want to make it about me, but
no, about it. I don't like Brianna. I have an issue with her. I think she's a fake, a phony, and a fraud. And she's always using this. They're threatening me with rape, and they want to kill me. I see some videos when she had some game GameGate or whatever it was, and she's accusing the pro Palestinian of doing the same thing. I'm like, I think she uses this excuse every single time.
Well, yeah, it probably actually happened to her the first time because gamer gators are known to do that. But then
What is that
after
about?
that,
What's that about?
well, she picked the right side of the coin that time, but
Yeah.
the other side of the coin was like serially harassing and
Yeah.
doxing and like women who spoke out against it. But then after that, I think she learned that she can further mobilize her audience, which means rile up her audience
Yeah.
to act on her behalf and attack people who disagree with her whenever she says, "Oh, I'm under attack from this person. Go get them." And that's like, because of that, she's learned just to never check herself. And she might even be a bit like, she comes off to me personally, and this is not diagnostic, but she comes off to me personally as being narcissistic.
She is.
She took a huge L today on Twitter, especially like she
Oh, I didn't see
is
it.
so wrong about trans people. It is
Yeah.
disgusting. So I'm going to send you that.
What happened? She hates people or what?
And then I'm sending you two things. I'm sending you first her things. That way you can see what she was retweeting and how wrong she was about the retweet. And then I'm going to send you my tweet, which is debunking.
Send it on the what do you call this?
Oh, okay, on the
On the stream.
StreamYard. Sure.
Yeah. It's all private, and I'll put it on and we talk about it. So she's a transo. She's a transo. I didn't know that.
Well, she's if you,
I don't think she knows what she is.
She's a trans medicalist.
Yeah.
Yet the funny thing about most trans medicalists is that they're not capable of actually using biology to understand things because they don't understand biology. And so she's doing the whole, you can't have period cramps, you can't have any sort of stuff from periods because you don't have the machinery for it. When what's really hilarious to me is that it's the hormones that cause this. And so I'll send you my tweet next.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Wait, let me see. Let me share this.
Yeah.
Share.
So this on its own is to point out the difference between what the person said and what Brianna responds with.
Yeah.
Because Brianna seems to think that she means like all periods, right? When clearly this person instead means the other symptoms other than bleeding out of the vagina. You know, hopefully your audience is okay with me being a little bit medically.
Yeah, okay. That's what we want to do.
So,
okay,
this Hazel person is wrong. This person,
she's saying, who is this? This is who
Brianna Wu ultimately retweets.
Oh, she said literally all you need to go through a who's saying that? Brianna who?
No, this is not Brianna. This is the person who Brianna retweets.
Oh, so why am I on there?
So click back. See the back arrow?
Oh, there you go. Okay, yes. Yeah. This is it, right?
Yes.
Okay, what does it say? Trans. Okay. Hold on. Let me try to make it. Do you see it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I made it big.
Perfect.
Yeah. I know. Okay. Okay. What she said? Trans. Read it. You want to read it?
Oh yeah. She says trans women don't get periods. It's absolutely obnoxious to compare anything trans women experience from HRT to menstruation.
Okay.
So I'll get to debunking that. But can I actually read the next part isn't as relevant. So I'll read what she was quote tweeting. Literally all you need to go through a non-menstrual period, which means not bleeding out.
Yeah.
It is HRT. It happens in cis women after menopause. It happens in cis women who have no uterus, aka no hardware, right? Yeah. So Brianna Wu is absolutely sidestepping the fact that she said non-menstrual period and says trans women don't get periods, right? It's just pure denial. So if you want to check the link out the next link that I posted, that's my debunking of it.
Oh, okay.
And this is just one source. There are plenty of them because how hormones works. It's the medical consensus on this.
Yeah, send it to you. You didn't send it.
No, I didn't.
You only sent me one.
Oh, I forgot to hit send.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
Professional debater, Melanie.
About it. Okay, let me see. And I'm another idiot. Don't worry about it.
No rush.
Okay. Did it come out? Oh, this is the same thing.
I don't see it.
No, it's the same thing. Wait, hold on.
Oh, no, that's my fault then. Let me.
No, it's not your fault. It's my fault. Because I did the same thing.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, there are different links.
Okay, this is women have a period. Okay, there it goes. Did it come out or no? It didn't come out.
See it.
No, I didn't do it. Wait, hold on.
Let me get it one more time. I'll just repost it just in case.
I got it.
It's my tweet, right?
Yeah, I just haven't shared it. Okay, hold on.
I need the attention. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Wu is I think Wu. What she does with the Palestinians, she has to do like 2-3 tweets a day to get her paid from the Haspera. They call it Haspera. Okay.
Oh, I don't know if she's paid by Hasbara, but
No, Haspera is like
Hasbara. The handbook. Yeah, the Hasbara
how to
handbook.
lie or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Hasbara handbook. It's very important to know about when going into debates with these people.
Okay. You got it? You see it? Okay. There you go.
So I tweeted another Brianna L because she just talks out of her A all of the time.
Yeah. And she respond to you?
No. And I don't. She's responded to me before. I don't need her to respond to me every time. But if you could scroll down, I'll read the quote from medicalnewstoday.com.
Okay.
Trans women do not experience typical menstrual periods. However, they may experience physical and emotional symptoms due to similar to premenstrual syndrome and premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And I will just say, like, I've had personal experience with this, including cramps and bloating, and all of the fun stuff, all of the very fun stuff. And I am so much more compassionate towards what women go through now with their periods.
So you get it because you're taking hormones that are female hormones, so you get whatever they get, the feeling of it,
and
right?
And to be clear, not every trans woman will get these, right? I'm guessing Brianna hasn't gotten these because not every cis woman gets these things as well.
Is she a trans?
Brianna Wu is trans, yeah.
You know, I was looking at her yesterday. She was on what do you call them? On Wick, yeah. And I'm looking at her. She's more feminist, though. I mean, her face, she looks more womanish. I don't know. It was,
she's probably had surgery.
Yeah,
I just want to say,
I didn't know she was. I didn't even know that.
I've talked so much shit about Wick on here, but there's one thing I've never said, which I really should have.
Yeah.
His channel name used to be Death of Certainty. And all I'm going to say is he should bring that back because he has been the death of certainty in me that he can ever moderate a panel without becoming the debater.
Yeah.
He does not know how to moderate a panel without jumping in.
He won't have me no more because I speak my mind. You know, he said, I'm afraid of TOS. I said, what am I saying TOS? And every time I come in as a caller, he have kicked me out like 3 times. He like kicks me out.
Well, you do have to be careful about TOS.
Yeah, but I mean, I did say something wrong. You know, I said, well, if that was real. The first time I said, he said they should go to Egypt. I said, if any Palestinian goes shoot it, they should shoot them right in the head because that's what the Israelis want. They want to ethnically cleanse them. And another thing I said, but I think he just does it because I've been harsh at him sometimes. I already called him a Zionist shell. I say he get paid by the Zionists. And it turns out he does get paid by people. He gets paid by Progressive Victory, right? So they used to get him paid. Trust me. By the way,
I'm not actually sure if that's been confirmed. I have
a phone number here: 1-800-409-0083. Somebody wants to call in. Wow, I'm trying to be like the radio host. You understand? All right, go ahead, buddy. What you said?
I'm not sure he necessarily gets money from Progressive Victory. He's only got like his connection to Brianna Wu, and then so people are speculating that as far as
he said it. He admitted it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, it is just so funny to imagine, like, the table of Progressive Victory people, like counterpoints there and all that stuff, and then
Connor's right wing, right?
Yeah, and which is funny, but Wick's just like scurrying around, picking up crumbs off the table. No, every time he finds one, like a little mouse. And he's culture. He's very much been a part of culturing the debate culture that has ultimately been the death of Twitch poll.
Who's that?
Well, everyone now is basically saying that Twitch poll is dying.
There's a lot of rumors fighting and so I don't know how to get that information. I see Food Shop every night. She has about a fight between Kefel, whatever it is, and Stardust, which I don't like. I think she's a piece of shit because she disrespected my mother for no reason. She always has
Omar, I'm telling you right now,
drama.
That's something that like most people on the internet wouldn't expect anyone to take that the mother joke wouldn't, like, yeah, she's disrespectful,
Oh,
but
oh, you heard her, right? I still don't understand.
she is
yeah.
disrespectful she is literally disrespectful to everybody. She's saying that because she doesn't know who your mother is. So
Yeah.
she knows that she's probably wrong, if anything.
She has no reason to say that. First of all, I was not.
She does it because she's playing a character.
Yeah, I was debating her. I wasn't even talking to her. She was not even in the conversation, Melanie. I mean, I'd never say anything. I always say, "Oh, you look good." Sometimes when she looks good, I say, "You look nice today," right on and I go right.
Well, if she's not asking,
wears too much
you don't
clothes.
need. But okay, if women aren't asking how they look, then they don't need you to be in their chat or their DMs telling them.
No, I'm not the DM. On the regular
or their
live.
chat or their.
Yeah, I say, "Oh, you look good." This is I never. She I mean, she don't know who I am. And she does look good sometimes. Sometimes she overdresses.
Right. So if it's unsolicited, it's unprofessional to say that to women on a panel.
Okay, maybe you're absolutely right about that. But when I was on Wick panel, we were talking about Palestine and Israel. It has nothing to do with her. I wasn't even talking to her. All of a sudden, she comes in there, gun blazing. Your mother must have been drunk, whatever.
And Wick should be shutting that down, especially if you're showing that you're offended. He should be shutting that down, saying, "Look, Stardust, Omar's offended. It's time for you to just shut up, take the L. That was a bad joke. It's not funny anymore." But no, because people like Wick, at best, and I'm saying at best, they are the type of people who in high school would enjoy watching other kids get bullied. They wouldn't bully kids.
Yeah.
And I'm saying at best because I don't know what they did in high school, but I can tell from who they are today that they were at the very least this much. And they would watch other kids get bullied and they'd enjoy it. And then afterwards they would say, "Oh, I think bullying is wrong," because that makes them look better than the bully when they really aren't. They're just, they're totally fine with what the bully does. They just don't want to get their hands dirty.
Right. I was going to say, and Wick she owns him. He puts on every panel. She was on a panel the other day about Ukraine. She didn't say nothing the whole time. And I wrote down, I said, "Wow, you invited Brianna. We haven't heard anything about Russia." She goes, then she writes, "Oh, I didn't know it was going to be about Ukraine." Come on.
I mean, I would prefer. It's better than her just saying a bunch of clueless stuff about the issue.
Don't be on the.
You're right.
I just don't like her. I don't like her. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't like her. I don't. You cannot be somebody on the left or somebody and not feel sorry for the people who are getting killed in another country. You don't have to be pro-Palestinian. Just be pro-human. There are 14,000 children dead. You should say, "Well, hey, this is wrong. What's going on over here?" Don't come here with some story in 1948 and 1929. All of a sudden, you're an historian on this issue. I fear for these people because I'm an Arab and they're Arabs. And, I have to deal with my wife and my mother. They're always crying, man, every day when they watch the news in Arabic. My mother's 75 years old. I have to change the channel or pretend that the internet is not working.
Wow.
She'll watch the news, in Arabic. And Al Jazeera shows everything.
Yeah.
Not like MSNBC. And
by the way, I don't know. It'll still show the stuff, so she'll probably still cry, but it's more revolutionary. There's this program called Democracy Now. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I know, with Amy Goodman.
Oh yeah, I feel like they cover it very well. They might.
Was that the guy, Juan Williams or something like that? What's his name?
No, it's just
a
Amy
Spanish
Goodman.
guy. No, he's with her. He used to work for the Daily News.
Juan Gonzalez. Yeah,
Juan Gonzalez. He used to be a columnist for the Daily News. I used to read him every day when I was a kid.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. How I got into politics? I used to love sports, and before we had no internet like.
And he's a big sports fan too.
Yeah, and I used to read by the Daily News. It was like 35 cents, and I read everything on sports. Then I would never read the front. Then I said, "Let me get." Then I started getting addicted to both sides. Then I become, you know what I'm saying? Then I become involved in politics. But before
there's
that,
also another really good anchor, co-host, co-anchor, I don't know, on there known as Nermeen Sheikh, and I like her a lot because she's just really good.
She has the British accent, right? She has the British accent.
I guess so. Yeah, I never thought of it. It's funny because when I hear British Arabic accents, I don't put it into the category of British. I put it into the category of Arabic. Because I think in Canada, the British accent is just so much more common that I hear the Arabic first.
She's not Canadian, right? She's English, right?
No, I know, but I'm
I
saying
think she's Pakistani or Indian or something.
our CBC plays a lot of British media, like including soap operas from Britain, like Coronation Street.
Yeah.
So I'm so used to the British accent that when somebody has an Arabic British accent, I almost don't hear their Britishness anymore.
Yeah. Because when I talk English, I use the R all the time. Because my girlfriends used to tell me that in college and all that stuff. And the reason I have this big accent is I was sick like for 2 years in a hospital. I never used to talk. And then when I started, if you look at my videos in 2020 or I started talking in YouTube, I couldn't open my mouth. My mouth was closed because I never used it. You know, I stay home all the time, didn't talk to nobody. It's on my head and reading. But the whole idea is that you're right. The mother language always comes out in any language. You know, just jumps right at the person. And if you pay attention to that, you're absolutely right. But I think English is a beautiful accent. The English accent, huh?
I like Scottish a bit more.
Yeah, it makes everybody sound smart. Even you could be the stupidest person in Britain. As soon as you talk in New York, wow, he sounds smart.
Have you heard of a guy known as Lonerbox?
No. Oh yeah, I know about
his accent. I think is like the peak, Scottish accent, and I think that there can be pretty good. Like I think the Irish accent's a bit nicer and even Welsh. I'm not gonna lie.
He's very well
of that island nations thing. United
Wales?
Nations.
Yeah.
The British accent it's colorful. It's got a lot to it, but it is one of the most like chonky kind of language.
But the Wales
if not posh, and I don't like either like the chonky or the posh.
Are the Wales more handsome and cute and beautiful than girls, eh?
I don't know.
I don't think well, most of the British are shorter. They have bad teeth. Okay.
I know. Jesus.
But now in these days you could get a veneer, so they're good unless they're lazy. Okay, I was gonna say what else? Who else do you say you had an issue with?
Oh yeah, there's a streamer who became popular in part thanks to Wick because he actually emerged out of the server that was run by my serial harasser who started harassing me after I got kicked from her server.
You can say her name, don't worry about it.
I at this point I'm not.
Say her name, don't worry about it, don't be shy.
Well, no, because that kind of beckons her. I don't want to give her an excuse to do it.
Okay, yeah. So what happened?
Where was it? Where did I post about him? Sorry, I'm just looking for the. I probably posted as a reply, of course. I'm finding
What's that thing you're hitting out the computer keys?
Oh, that's my mouse. Sorry, I will mute myself real quick.
No, he's okay. Wick, you bum, where are you?
Okay, so in the chat, I'm going to post a link, and this will be how it ended.
Okay. What were you talking on Twitter?
So as of right now, my Twitch channel is taken down by this person's fans.
Why, they complained or what?
Yep, they mass reported me, and they also spammed the password reset, so I can't change my password, and I'm logged out of everything.
Oh, there you are. Okay. What did they do? What is it?
They also spammed the password reset. So it logged me out of all of my devices, and I can't launch a complaint since I'm not logged in. And it broke the ability for me to change my password.
Wow. So I want to start a fight. Where do I go?
I don't know.
You know why I want to start a fight? Because you get attention,
Support me. Everyone hates me because I am actually an expert debater. I don't rely on either like this snobbish, like, academic debate stuff. I don't rely on having to be a pure expert on everything. I don't rely on their drama.
Yeah, but you're too honest. You're too fair. No, it's no good. You can't debate.
I'm too passionate.
Yeah, and you're too fair. Because in debating, you need to lie a little bit when you tell them. You know what I'm saying? No.
That's
They
true.
had a public opinion. 89% were against it. We don't know if that's true or
I
not.
think that's more of just me being a leftist, because leftists don't have to lie to win debates.
Yeah, that's what they get the question because the lies more. You see, the Republican Party tell a lie, and there it goes right away. Insane.
Everyone gets to talk about the lies because that's sensational.
Yeah, it's more sensational or more
But you know what's sensational? You know what's sensational about me?
Yeah.
Everyone on the spectrum who isn't a leftist, so if you're a leftist, you should love me, who isn't a leftist runs from me because they can't win on debates on guns. They can't win debates on anything to do with trans issues. They can't, because at the end of the day, let me tell you, neoliberals are not great trans allies, and they can't win on most of the other stuff they come at me with, unless like they, for whatever reason, it's some niche drama bullshit, because then I don't debate it. So I'm basically, at this point, I consider myself to be immortal in this space because nobody has ever taken me down on a debate. I have won multiple debates where people change their mind in real time in front of me, and nobody has been able to actually get me to seat ground, aside from when, basically everybody's mad at me because I said something that's a little dumb, and then I said, okay, fine, that was a little dumb.
Okay.
So Rezi, so this whole thing started as a result of a person whose channel's name is Rezavir. That's REZZI.
Yeah, I heard it. Is he big or something? Because he had an issue with.
He's influential. So what?
He's the one who's
he's a backdoor
shop,
dealer.
Right?
He's a backdoor dealer in Twitch pool, in that he holds a lot of. He dangles a lot of networking.
Send me his name. Let me pay him to make me famous.
Yeah, exactly. He holds a lot of networking opportunities and dangles them in front of people like Food Shop's face. And because he himself is kind of like a mid-tier streamer, he's an okay entertainer. He's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But he also knows that as a middle-aged white dude, there's only so much worth he has in a space that's having political discussions, because he's in constant competition with other middle-aged white dudes. And so what does he do? He doesn't do he pretends to have honest debates. He pretends to be a nice guy. But as soon as you cross him, he says, you know what? All these people who I was dangling in front of your face, I'm going to tell them not to deal with you anymore. You're essentially blacklisted.
Yeah.
So another reason Rezi's doing this to me is because my serial harasser and him are basically super tight. She's part of him. She's someone who can give him connections. He's someone who can give her connections. And so her lying about me is more of a smear on her than it is for me. So he needs to lie about me for her. And so what he did on his stream, so here, let me give you the full story, right?
Yeah.
So he's watching something on stream about somebody who apparently used the C slur that's banned on Twitch, because it's the one that targets white people, right?
The C.
C starts with the C and ends with the
R-A. Have you ever ate the Cracker Barrel? No, you never ate there?
No, I haven't actually.
That's it. Right? That is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I called him out and was like, well, don't you use the R slur? How is a racist slur so much worse than an ableist slur? Yeah. And his response was, well, because you're the R slur. Essentially, he said a lot more and complained about me and stuff. And then so I started to dig in on him, and he kept pretending like it was no big deal. Ha ha ha, Melanie, you're so ridiculous. Ha ha, everyone's providing me entertainment in chat. And then I said, okay, I guess if I'm no big deal, I can just report this channel. Or I said, I'm going to report the channel. Yeah. And that was going to be the last thing I said. I was going to leave and keep him in suspense. Like, oh my gosh, you're really going to do it, right?
Yeah.
So he banned me, which was kind of expected. And I laughed. And I didn't report his channel because I thought, you know what? He probably doesn't, I don't need to go that far.
Yeah.
It's not going to mean much anyways, right? Twitch doesn't probably care. Yeah. So anyways, so he doesn't say anything to me. I tweet at him on Twitter, and he literally responds with memes because he's useless. He's trash. Right. He has to joke about these things to pretend like because it's the only way he can pretend he's right in this scenario. Right. And I go to, so I find out that I've been banned from Twitch.
Wow.
So that's clearly a mass report because, came like literally 5 minutes afterwards. So I go to log in, and from every single device different networks. One's my cell phone on data.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Right.
I asked somebody else, hey, can you change your password right now? Yep. I asked another friend, hey, who's really close to me. Hey, like, and I mean locally, not close to me personally. Hey, can you change your password? Yes. So then I start to put the pieces together. Why would my password reset be broken? And then it occurred to me, it's been spammed. Spamming it to break the function so I couldn't log in and write an appeal, which would essentially be, I wasn't actually being racist. I was trying to ask how his racism is comparable to, or is not comparable to the ableism that he constantly expresses.
Right.
And he banned me because he didn't want to be reported. While he was saying transphobic, he was pedojacketing me on behalf of my serial harasser. Sorry, that's the part that I skipped because I wanted to get to what we're seeing on. But there's another discussion where this is also kind of explained. More for you. If you want to bring it on stream, you can.
Yeah.
But and this guy, he reached out to me more neutrally.
Is that him? Send me that guy's name.
No,
not here. Send me in the.
Oh, okay, yeah.
DM, because I know he had a conversation with Fruit Shop where she said that crazy shit about 12-year-old. I think she was having a conversation with him, right?
Yeah, it was a little creepy, to be honest. If
anything, she looks different. What happened to her?
If you watch that conversation, he's not escaping the allegations that I made just now. In fact, he makes it very clear that he is a dealer of interactions and he intends to weaponize that power.
Oh, okay.
And my thing is he's a backdoor dealer because he doesn't say this person's blacklisted ever.
Right.
But those people certainly stop getting interactions from his mutuals.
Yeah. And what kind of channel he has? What kind of content that
he's
he
just
does?
a streamer. That's literally it. He's just a streamer. He
play
can
games,
sometimes be a little funny. He can sometimes get the correct take. He can sometimes be charismatic. But all of that is just to mask the fact that he is a sinister person who wants to manipulate people in the space.
Wow. Huh?
Well, he tries to tell me that I'm manipulating him for asking him to be consistent with whether or not he chooses to use no slurs while he's berating someone for using the C slur. Because let me just tell you right now, I spammed the shit out of the phrase white fragility in his chat because that's exactly what that was. It was nothing more, nothing less.
Right.
I guarantee you he has used, probably with the soft A, I'll give him a little bit of credit, but he has used the N-word with the soft A when at other black people when nobody else is around, because not to be racist, but because he feels like that's just okay. As soon as one black person tells him he can, suddenly he gets the pass. And then those people have to be like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then have a debate with him about, just because someone gave you a pass, it doesn't mean you can go around to other people saying it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I grew up in a black neighborhood all my life. We used to use it. I'm going to be honest. It was more like of an affectionate way.
And you say it to people who won't get pissed at you for saying it.
No, look, we were talking in front of the house. We used the N-word. We didn't meant any cruelty behind it. You understand? Or any racism. It's like a form of
Resi, it's like this. Oh my God, I'm so subversive. I'm so edgy because I used that word I'm not allowed to use. And it's so pathetic because he is a middle-aged man. Okay, he's going through some sort of a midlife crisis or something, and using his Twitch chat to both like cope through it and prolong it. And I'm telling you right now that the way that he treats most debates is not much smarter than like a 15-year-old. I have met 15-year-olds who can debate better than him.
Wow.
I haven't debated them, but I've seen them debate because guess what? They're in their high school debate club.
Yeah. Some of these people like that, but I'd like to get to know him. I want to see if I could, I'm trying to get into a beef, but I can't find nobody to fight with me.
Well, that's the thing is like the scene is dead. This scene is dead.
Yeah. I see, but and most of these channels are old. They're trying to be drama channels like Food Shop.
And that's the other thing that's killing
Food Shop
it.
doesn't have any content. She's a lazy creator. She doesn't do it. She just stays there and watch the other people's debates or other people's content. and sometimes she just say all crazy shit. Nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all that stuff. She looks different. You saw how she looks? She's getting darker. She looks more
Well, have
Native
you
Indian
noticed,
now.
like, she was flip-flopping for a while between, am I going to do intellectual content? Am I going to do drama and stuff like that? And
You know
she's
what she told
finally,
me? You know what she told me, right?
is,
She likes girls.
oh yeah, she's been super cringy with that, mostly
Yeah, I
due
think
to the fact that people, like, she keeps trying to make jokes,
right.
not realizing that you can't have it both ways. If people
Yeah,
are actively accusing you of this and you're trying to
yeah,
downplay those allegations, don't also make jokes that make them seem true, so that way those people can run with it.
yeah. It's
Just
weird.
like at this point, we have to assume that, you know, like we're all going to get clipped out of context, right?
Yeah.
I try to do that as much as I can. Like if we're all just, you know, like I'm improving as well right now, right? None of this
Yeah.
is scripted. So
Yes.
I could say something that gets clipped out of context and is terrible.
Yeah.
But there's a little, just the littlest bit of foresight of saying, of thinking like, oh no, that's something that people can clip out of context,
Yeah.
can save you so much damage. And that's why, like, I think, Omar, you and I, if we were bigger and or
Yeah.
if we had actually said something awful, they
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to shut up about us, right?
Yeah.
Because then we'd be the perfect scapegoat and everything. We'd have said like, I hope Hamas wipes out all the whatever,
Yeah.
because that's what they want us to say.
No, I'm not
That's
gonna say
what they
that.
want us to say, because then
No.
they get to fucking milk that for content for months and pretend like Israel's doing nothing wrong. And the same for every other issue, right?
Yeah.
If I'm a trans person who says like X clueless thing, then they don't have to listen to
Yeah.
other trans people and their correct takes on things like trans sports, DIY HRT, and all of the things that actually bring about trans rights. It for them, it's all subversion because they can't handle the actual discussion.
Right. You saw what I sent you?
Oh,
On
and
the-
DMs.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay. Yeah, that's you've sent me that several times. That's your dad, right?
Yeah, I sent that to you before.
Yes.
What do you think about it? Does my father look black?
Well, he doesn't look white.
He's black. But
He looks Middle Eastern. What can I say? Or maybe like
but
Spanish.
he's a black. No, he's a black Middle Eastern. But in the Middle East, we don't classify people by color. Like I only saw that in the United States. Like we say, oh, these are the white people. We don't say that. I mean, Caucasian maybe, but in Arabia, he's an Arab. But we know, oh, he's from that region and with maybe by the seashore. You know, like by the shores, it's more darker and something like that. My mother looks Irish. I don't have a picture of her. That's why I look like my mother.
And just please be careful who you spread that to, because I know, like, I know you're very proud of your dad and stuff like that. But
no, I love him. He died. I love him.
Okay. Well, that makes it a bit
passed
different.
away.
Sometimes people
he
can
had
use these
diabetes.
things. Sometimes people can use these things against you. And you're a very trusting person. So, anyways, I wanted to address kind of what you're saying, and it makes me sad that we're doing that. But by the way, when we say just like white or non-white and stuff, I didn't want to give an answer and just, you know, kind of like offend you, so I was trying to be delicate there.
No, go ahead. No,
but the fact that we do that does do one pretty awful thing, which is it blurs together very diverse cultures. Somebody from Algeria does not have the same culture as somebody from Egypt, does not have the same culture as somebody from South Africa, as somebody from Palestine, as someone from Yemen. These are all incredibly different places, which is why, like, the way that we erase people with our language is in part why, like, we also forget about Yemen while Palestine is happening and stuff like that. We forget about all the other ongoing genocides right now.
But you understand what I'm trying to say, that the United States, they use color as an ethnicity, which doesn't make any sense. And I read into that before 1681, there was no such thing as white. The white started because they had something called the Bacon Rebellion, when poor whites and poor blacks and indentured servant whites and black slaves rebelled against the elites in Jamestown, and they burned it down. And the white elites got scared. So what they did is they united all the European whites under
the Anglo-Saxons,
you know, German, everybody's with whites, so they could use them as what they do now, as like donkeys, you know, to vote in big blocks. Oh, you gotta vote.
Well, not
DEI,
just
or you
that,
got to
right?
vote CRT, or you got to vote
America
Woody Harvey.
was supposed to be a white supremacist nation.
Yeah.
Like slavery was evident of that, and all the discourse around slavery about how it was what was it again? Something destiny. Why can't I think of it?
Yeah.
What's there's this term that they used, right? It was
WASP.
no that the term that like everything that was happening in America was something destiny.
Oh,
Manifest destiny.
Manifest Destiny. I think that's Monroe. The Monroe that wrote that, because he said from the Pacific to the Atlantic that America was meant to be.
Yeah, and so for them it was like the literal image of a white woman carrying America across. Like, do you think it's any wonder now that leftists are trying to get people to talk about white girl syndrome? And when like as soon as
What
we
is it?
see
What is it called? White girl?
syndrome, where
What is
like
that?
as soon as we see one white girl hurt by something,
Oh, yeah.
we suddenly care so much about
Yeah,
it more
yeah.
than if it was like 40 men who died.
Yeah. You know the comedian Patrice O'Neill. He died a long time ago. He had
No.
he had a whole bit about that. About
Really?
how he remember that girl that got killed. Her name was Hollywood, whatever her name was, in the Caribbean. He said
No.
they spent million. He was saying that white women are more important than everybody else. And
Wow.
I should say, I'll find you that bit.
Definitely, please.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna send it to you. He said that a long time ago. He died already. He said like even the color white that this girl who got killed in the Caribbean, I think her name was Hollywood, whatever her name. They went crazy, but a black girl. He said you're not worth anything. So if you get lost, they're not gonna look for you. I'm gonna send you that bit. He had a whole bit about that. You understand? Okay, go ahead. What were you saying?
And just the final thing is like the reason I brought up the middle-aged man thing is because at the end of the day, Rezzy's like making this space like a popularity contest. Like this is high school all over again.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
taking people like food shops, like 25-year-olds, and putting them through this ringer where it's like, hey, do you want to be popular? Well, then you got to do what I say. And it's like I recently watched something about this Nickelodeon producer. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he is a creep. Okay.
Yeah. He just apologized, right? I forgot
Yeah,
his name.
and he psychologically and emotionally abused the fuck out of these kids to get his way. He screamed in their faces, would hold their careers in front of them and stuff like that, and or dangle them in front of them. Not as bad as some people, but certainly did that. And it's just absolutely disgusting how there are people in this space who also kind of do that. I don't even think he like Rezzy sexualizes people, right? But he does that dangling, that manipulation tactic of saying, hey, look, I have something you want. Now come this way. So that's why like the way he was acting like Food Shop's dad was so fucking creepy for me. Like that really crossed the line. Like it's one thing to be like, oh, I'm fatherly, ha ha ha, that's cute and wholesome, right? Like it's kind of snuggly when guys do that. But when it's like you're saying that to a trans woman while you're also doing a manipulation, like do what I say tactic, it is fucking weird. And so like whether or not like it doesn't just end with Rezzy, right? It's the whole high school nature of this place where people are gossiping behind people's backs, and it's a big popularity contest, and all the popular kids have all this gossip about all the uncool kids, and every time one of the uncool kids comes to the panel, that's what we have to deal with. We get treated like dirt, and we have a bunch of rumors that are spread about us come up for no fucking reason.
That's the same thing I said to myself. I said, yo, this is like when we used to hang out as kids. You know, every night they have this drama. Oh,
yep.
This guy said this. This guy says that.
Always looking to who's going to fight tonight, right? Like even that.
And they have their own group. It's like their own bubble. You can't cut. You see, I've been on the internet a long time ago. I have not penetrated any bubbles. I did 2 shows with Wick. Then he said it wasn't worth it because the idea we had no content. We should show up every Tuesday. We didn't do nothing. And the other people, it just, I don't know, maybe my accent, my Middle Eastern presence or anything with the glass. I hide behind these glasses because, you know, shyness and all that stuff, it goes away. It's like I don't see nobody.
And just being online helps for sure.
Yeah, and it's like a trademark. What is it called? Trademark or something? I mean, you want to look different. I used to wear different glasses. Yeah, I used to wear different. I did an interview with you my eyes is like a fish. Everybody, my kids would say, "Dad, your eyes look ugly."
I don't think your eyes look that bad. It's fine.
Yeah, you
So,
remember, right? I did an interview
yeah.
with you and Rose.
And for people who are wondering, like, why are they like this? Like, part of it is just that they never developed a real purpose in life, and so they came out of high school doing this. But another part of it is like they can't exist in an environment where like lefties like me are actually bringing the discussion to actual human rights. They are so they're petty, privileged people, and I'm not just alliterating. What I'm saying is like if the conversation is not focused on them and what makes them feel comfortable, then they don't just feel like they're losing the debate. They feel like they can't control the discussion anymore, and they start rejecting the people who bring the discussion there. So when I brought up that, like, hey, you seem to be willing to toss out the trans athletes because you're afraid that trans athletes might dominate, but there's still no evidence of that. So why are you tossing out trans athletes? That makes you a bad ally. And they got so mad at me, right? Because for a split second, they were so afraid that the conversation of what makes a real ally was about to happen, and they were going to be exposed.
Yeah, some of them they in it for the money. Sometimes they use people. Oh, like you said, like to get like I'm gonna give you an example. Like what's her name? Who I hate, Brianna. She's my arch enemy now. I don't know why. So somebody will say, "Oh, I didn't even know she was transgender." I used to look at her, she looks different. I thought, I used to think she, those women that eat and they throw up. What do you call them? And they throw up the food.
Anorexics.
That's what I thought she is. Bulimic, whatever the word is. That's what I thought she does, because I had a friend who looked just like her. She used to do the same thing. We didn't know until she almost died. This is she used to go and she'll eat and go to the bathroom just to get it all out, and that's it.
Regardless, you were saying about
people get they use like, for example, Wick probably not an ally or anything like that. He's beneficial. His friends with benefits. He's getting money out of her. He's getting a lot of connections, and
PV wants to have influence in the streamer space, which I think is kind of disgusting, because people like Connor are not only representing
what's
PV.
Out there channel, it's all cartoon, right?
Let me tell you, all he does is talk shit about the left and defend the police and the way things are. That's all that's literally all, like, you can take any one of his arguments. He does care about things, like he'll try to care about things, but I think at the end of the day, he joined this space and he is still very mad at leftists for moving things away from the status quo. He's mad at DEI. He's mad at all the same thing the reactionaries are. He's just not wearing that on his sleeve like someone like Ben Shapiro does.
But what does he? I don't know what he streams. I went to his channel. It's cartoon, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, if we talk about that, we're kind of promoting him, right? I'm trying to criticize him right now.
No, but I mean, does he stream? I mean, because I know he has a show with Brian. I don't know. I want to hear what they're saying, right? Because
I'm not going to plug.
I want to debate you. I want to debate you on Connor's channel.
If people want to go find it themselves, they can. I'm not going to personally plug it.
Yeah, it's garbage. The old garbage. I don't like her anyway. I think she's taking blood money. I don't know what you stand on Gaza, but I think what they're doing to those people is not humane. It's not a war no more. You want to fight those Hamas, but you can't kill the whole neighborhood. 80% of the buildings have been destroyed, all that thing. I mean, it's just fucking wild.
And that's like, it's hard for us to admit that, like, it's not a war. It is a genocide, because Israel has just won, because there was nothing to win. There's never two sides to it. And like, this is like, I think when it comes to people like Wick and stuff like that, they want to be on the side that they perceive to be winning, because that's the only way they know how to do optics. They think winning equals good optics. So therefore Israel winning equals good optics.
I know how Wick was, somebody called him an Islamophobe. I don't know, Islamophobe. And I defended him. I said, then when the Israeli Palestinian thing started, he will go look for something like the posters. Remember, they had posters and the people ripped them up in New York City? Yeah. He did a whole show. And there's like 5,000, 10,000. It was like the 10,000 people dead. I told him, yo, Wick, why aren't you talking about those people? Only the posters more important than 10,000 people dead? Oh, he never tweeted anything. I say, motherfucker.
So I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of Stand with Palestine signs in people's lawns here. And I've like out of like the 20 or so that I've seen on my walks, I've seen 2 or 3 that have been trampled.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you what happened. What
So
happened
it goes
is,
both ways, and
no,
it's
what
always cherry
TikTok
picking.
did, right? What TikTok did was the most what the Palestinians have been spent 75 years. They've been trying to get their message out. That they're under occupation, they're suffering, but nobody would listen to them But what TikTok did for their cause is unbelievable. On TikTok, all they talk about is I'm an Palestinian ally. They talk about Palestinian. Then Americans, and this is what we wanted. The average American knows what's going on now. They know that AIPAC it gives money to all the politicians. They know there's an occupation. They know we give free weapons to Israel. They know that 75 years they've been because listen, this is the solution for Israel's goal in Gaza is you have two things. And you stay under occupation, or we kill you. Because we're not going to give you your independence. You understand what the end one is? There is no other offer. You either stay under subjugation, like you did before. They controlled their diet before this. How much each will get calories a day? These people are evil, man. I have never seen such evilness, and we saw it. And TikTok, thank God, TikTok showed everybody. That's why they want to shut down TikTok, the ADL and APAC. Yeah, they want to shut it down because it's unbelievable when you see like regular American, like you say, white girls, and they're talking about Palestine. They know a lot. I'm like, whoa. Especially, you know how TikTok feeds you the algorithm when you go talk about, then it shows you all these Palestinian things, and you see all these Americans in the Midwest, in the South, and all over the world, from Canada to every place, they are talking about Palestine or free Palestine or end the war in Gaza. Thank God that social media finally did something right. And the Palestinian won already because everybody knows that they have a cause. The Israel could kill all they want because you have more weapons than they do. And historically, it's going to be a stain on you. You're going to be remembered as the people who killed and massacred. And Joe Biden would be genocidal Joe. He stood there. He gave the weapons. They just passed the bill. Listen to this, Melanie. The yearly bill to fund our government. And they gave Israel $3.3 billion. And they took everything that they give to Palestine, everything.
And they still try to say that like the U.S. funding is like a fraction of what Israel, like this is per budget that they get, that Israel gets stuff like this.
That's
like
every
this is
year.
not
That's beside the $14 billion that they're going to get this year. We are rewarding bad habits. That's what we're doing. We're rewarding them.
Well, because the U.S. sees this as a proxy war. And so the main thing is like what the U.S. manufactures in this case is an extension of the misinformation machine for countries like this. TikTok seemed to be working against that in America. And people like Ted Cruz, who are totally like, he's such a war hawk, right?
He's an idiot.
And so he's saying to his donors, no, we're going to make sure that you still get to sell your weapons to Israel.
Yeah, he's saying that. I mean, what I'm saying is that, when you reward bad habit, this is what we do. We give Israel $4 billion a year. So they have no incentive to make peace. If we give them $4 billion worth of weapons every year, free of charge, then I'm going to stay I'm going to keep the status quo. I'm going to keep it like this because that's the only way I'm going to get money from this country. But if the United States say, listen, we're going to give you this money, but you need to do A and B. You need to give these people their freedom. I mean, they're under occupation. The United States knows there's a Palestinian state. It's policy that that the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem is part of the future Palestinian state. The United States recognize that. The United Nations recognize that. But what we're doing is the opposite. You have 800,000 settlers, illegal settlers in the West Bank. And you know what? They're all from New York. I mean, why can't we just tell them, listen, you're breaking the law, international law. If you got to come home. If not, we're going to hold you responsible. It's weird. Our relationship with Israel is gonna blow in our face. I'm going to say something. Israel is not going to survive like a long time as it is, because right now it's an ethno state. You see, Melanie, between the river and the sea, there's 7.3 million Jews, right? And the same thing between the river and the sea, there's 7.3 million Palestinians. It's like God made them 50-50. And the Israelis have a dilemma. They can't have a one state because they're going to become a minority right away, because the other side is having more babies. They don't want to give them the independence. Then they become an apartheid state, and they become an outlaw state in the eye of the international community. That's why it's dangerous. That's why they want to kill them or expel them, because that's the only way to get rid of the demographic bomb. The whole idea of the Zionist movement is demographics. The whole goal is take the land and get rid of the natives. That's it. Now, in 75 years, they do take a lot of land, but the natives are still there, and the natives still own land. So the Zionist project is a failure.
Well, the thing that Zionists always bring up is like, we deserve a homeland because we were expelled from our original one. But here's the thing, like, if you actually want a homeland where you're kept safe and stuff like that, go to America. America seems pretty happy to protect Israeli Jews from anybody who doesn't like them.
Yeah.
America seems to have lots of extra space, and you won't need two different states there. America will represent your rights, but no, what they want is sovereignty, right? They want their literally their own nation. And this is why, like, personally, I'm against nationalism, because nowadays you can't have your own nation without expelling other people.
Yeah. No, they could have did it differently. They could have came to Palestine and they could say, listen, we're going to live with these people, with the natives. We're going to build a country for us and them.
Yes.
They'll be safe.
We're
They'll
so
be
far
safe.
past that.
You know how beautiful it would be? Because the Jews have all the financial and all the know-hows, and they could be the laborers.
Okay, that's overly simplistic, but I mean, anyways, it's been a good chat. Omar, we are running this a bit late.
Okay, don't worry about it. Anyway,
I put a link in chat. Could you quickly bring that up? Because given that I have been banned on Twitch, I do want to do a bit of shameless self-promotion.
Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, let me see.
And I'm going to read this out in the meantime.
Okay, hold on. I got to share it.
So I have this pinned to my Twitter. So if you heard about me getting banned and you feel bad for me and want to show some love, go to my Twitter. It is at M, that's the letter M, 9, that's the number 9, and then Scarlet, that's Scarlet with 2 T's. So at M9 Scarlet. And I'm not saying x.com, it's twitter.com. So also support me because I do that. And so my tweet says, so much bravery from the Twitch poll edgelords, but somehow they're not brave enough to challenge their own ableism, because really they're not. Those who smear me fear my silver tongue and valid indignance, because they have no response for it other than to attack me. And I refuse to let them stop me. And that's really the thing here is, at some point or another, I very much plan to get a group of people together who will bring back Twitch poll, bring back the politics and the true debate, the true lifeblood of Twitch poll, which isn't drama, which isn't sensationalism, isn't pandering to our audiences. It's discussing the issues and trying to do better, trying to actually bring the discussion somewhere instead of looping over the white lament every single day.
All right. So you heard it from the Fox. So you all right? You felt good? You had a good chat?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes when I send you a message, you answer like a day late. I'm like, what's going on over here?
Oh, yeah. Those are just messy days for me where there's a lot going on.
I understand. Trust me. I knew it before you even told me. Don't worry. I have the same issues.
Okay.
I have the same issues. All right. Thank you, Melanie. I hope you're feeling good. Maybe we'll try this next week if you're feeling all right. All right.
For sure. Or the Saturday as well, because we were doing Saturdays for a while there.
Let's do Saturday.
If I see something I want to talk about, I'll DM it to you. And
just come on. The problem, what's good for me is if I have a partner, I'll be there every night because I get energy. Like if I have somebody with me, like right now, you see, I'm not feeling because I have phobia to clothes. You know what I'm wearing right now? When I wear these, the top, my body just becomes all itchy for no reason. Right now, when I'm talking to you, I forget. As soon as we finish, I throw them away. But what I'm saying is that if I have somebody going to talk to me, it feels good, to have a conversation. You learn a lot, and you're very well grounded. And
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and you talk in a world, you know, like brick by brick. You know, I just see anything that comes up in my head.
I sort of do too.
Yeah.
You know, it's to each their own. And I really like talking to you too, especially because you have such a deep knowledge of what's going on around the world. And you fill in a lot of the gaps that I have, like history and stuff like that, because I genuinely have a learning disability that gets in the way. But I still find people who can know that stuff and navigate those areas of information very fascinating.
All right. I'll see you Saturday, I guess, right?
Yes, Saturday.
All right. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.